I want to start with a number that, honestly, I found a little insulting.
Oh, what number is that?
The number is 40, or more specifically, the fourth decade of life.
Ah, yes, that one. It creates a very vivid image of a calendar flipping pages, way faster than you'd like.
Exactly. I'm reading through this research on brain metabolism, and it says right there that measurable cognitive decline starts in your 30s and 40s.
Right. And we're not just talking about forgetting where you put your keys.
No, we're talking structural changes. I mean, I feel like I just figured out how taxes work, and now my neural hardware is already going obsolete.
It does feel unfair. But looking at the source material we have today, the research around the NEUROgevity protocol and Brain Boost Plus from the Morrell Institute, it's less about being obsolete and more about an energy crisis.
An energy crisis, that's a good way to put it, because that's what it feels like. So today we're doing a deep dive into what they're calling precision neuro-optimization.
And I know that sounds a bit like marketing speak.
It does. But the sources here are incredibly dense with biochemistry. This isn't just, eat more blueberries. It's a clinician-led approach to fixing brain fog at the cellular level.
Exactly. And to even start that conversation, you have to understand the machine we're working with.
The brain.
The brain. It is by far the most metabolically expensive organ you own. It's maybe 2% of your body weight, but it burns through 20% of your energy.
It's a total gas guzzler.
It is a Ferrari engine in a Prius body. And because it runs so hot, biologically speaking, it produces a huge amount of waste. Oxidative stress, free radicals, all that stuff.
So the whole idea behind the Morrell Institute's work is that aging isn't just time passing, it's the buildup of all that metabolic junk.
It's that, and it's the failure of the repair crews to keep up with the mess.
So when I'm sitting at my desk at 3 p.m., staring at an email I've read 3 times, and the words just won't stick. That's not just being tired.
It's a symptom of a few things going wrong at once. The sources point to 3 main culprits. First, you have a loss of synaptic density. Literally, the connections between your neurons are breaking. Second, neurotransmitter signaling gets glitchy.
And the third.
And the third, and this is the big one, is that your mitochondrial efficiency just plummets.
Mitochondria, okay, the powerhouses of the cell. We know this. But it's not just that the battery is running low.
It's more complex. It's not that the battery is empty, it's that the battery is leaking. When mitochondria get inefficient, they don't just produce less energy, they produce more of that oxidative stress we mentioned.
Which then damages the neuron even more.
It's a vicious cycle. Yeah. And the NEUROgevity protocol is designed specifically to interrupt that cycle.
All right, let's get into the how. Because I've seen a million supplements that claim to boost brain power. And it's usually just caffeine and B vitamins.
Right, and this is structured more like a medical treatment plan. It's built on pillars. Pillar 1 is structural repair.
Structural repair, that sounds significant. We're talking about fixing the actual architecture of the brain?
We're talking about synaptic plasticity.
Right, plasticity, the brain's ability to change and adapt. But we usually hear about that when you're like learning a new language or something.
True, but on a micro level, it's all about what they call dendritic spine density.
Okay, break that down for me.
Imagine your neurons are trees, the dendrites are the big branches, and the spines are the tiny little leaves on those branches. That's where the signals are actually received.
And as we hit that 4th decade, the leaves start falling off.
The leaves start falling off and the signal gets weaker. That's brain fog.
So this protocol claims to regrow the leaves.
They use a very specific amino-based neuropeptide compound. And these peptides, they're signaling molecules. They basically tell the cells to get back to work.
Now, this is where I get skeptical. Regrowing brain cells is a huge claim. The outline mentions a couple of studies. What did they actually find?
So let's look at the FAR study. This was fascinating. They were working with animal models, basically mice that were engineered to have the cognitive deficits of an old brain. They gave them these peptide compounds and then tested them in a maze.
The gold standard for testing memory. So what happened? Did the mice get smarter?
Not only did their performance in the maze improve, but when they looked at the actual brain tissue,
They saw changes.
They saw an increase in synaptogenesis. They could literally see the leaves growing back on the trees.
That is wild. So it's not just boosting existing connections, it's building brand new ones.
Exactly. And another study, Benoist, looked at long-term potentiation. That's the biological process of stamping a memory into the brain. The peptide restored that ability.
Okay, so that takes care of the wiring. But great wiring is useless without electricity, which brings us to pillar 2, the energy crisis.
Back to the mitochondria.
Right, but here's my other skeptical question. The blood-brain barrier. It's like a bouncer for your brain. How do you get anything past it?
You've just hit on the single biggest challenge in neuropharmacology. Most antioxidants are just too big or the wrong shapes to get into the VIP section.
So they just get flushed out.
They do. The NEUROgevity protocol uses what they call actively transported amino acids.
Actively transported. So they have a special ticket to get in.
It's like a Trojan horse. Or maybe a key card is a better analogy. The molecule is structured in a way that the brain recognizes it and actively pulls it across the barrier.
And once it's inside,
It goes straight to the mitochondrial membrane. There's a study here by Che that found these compounds actively scavenge the free radicals that are leaking from those tired mitochondria.
so it's like sending a hazmat team into a leaky power plant.
That is a surprisingly accurate analogy, yes. You clean up the spill so the reactor can run efficiently again. And stable energy means...
No more fog.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm with you. But it doesn't stop there. We have wiring, we have power.
Yeah.
What about maintenance? Pillars 3 and 4 are about neurotrophic factors and uridine.
Think of neurotrophic factors as fertilizer for your neurons. Specifically, the protocol aims to stimulate nerve growth factor, or NGFs.
It's NGF. I've heard of this. It's the stuff that keeps neurons alive.
It's essential for their survival. But the catch is, NGF production just drops off a cliff as we get older.
So this is about tricking the body into making more of it.
It is, using certain botanical plant-based compounds. And then you pair that with uridine.
Uridine, what's that?
Uridine is a nucleotide. It's a raw material. If NGF is the foreman on a construction site yelling, "Build more walls,"
Uridine is the pile of bricks. I love that.
can't build without the bricks. And there was a landmark study from MIT researchers that showed when you combine uridine with the right cofactors, you get a massive acceleration in building new cell membranes.
So the foreman and the bricks work together. It's a synergy.
It is. And the result is better working memory and attention because the physical infrastructure of the cell is just more robust.
Okay, so that's neurogevity. That's the long game. That's the I want to be sharp when I'm 90
Yeah.
plan.
Mhm.
But I have a deadline tomorrow.
Right. Sometimes you don't have 3 months to wait for your dendrites to regrow.
Exactly. I need my brain to work now. And this is where most people reach for a triple shot espresso.
Which works for about 45 minutes, and then you get the jitters and the crash.
The crash is the worst. You're borrowing energy you don't actually have. This is where Brain Boost plus O comes in.
The need for speed part of the protocol?
Yes, and they make a very specific claim. No crash. How is that even chemically possible? If you go up, you have to come down, right?
Not necessarily. It all depends on how you go up. The key ingredient here isn't caffeine. It's a next-generation cognitive metabolite.
They're talking about pyroxanthine, right?
They are, and this is a really cool piece of biochemistry. When you drink coffee, your liver breaks caffeine down into 3 different compounds. Pyroxanthine is the one that actually gives you the focus.
So they just cut out the middleman.
Precisely. You use the metabolite directly, and you bypass the parts of the caffeine molecule that cause the jitters and the heart palpitations. You get the clean focus without the physiological anxiety.
Is there any data on pyroxanthine specifically?
Oh, yeah. There are randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled trials. The real deal.
And what did they find?
They found significant improvements in attention, reaction time, and working memory, but, and this is the key, without the spike in heart rate you get from caffeine.
That's the holy grail, isn't it? Alertness without the panic?
Yes. They call it sustained alertness, and they stack this with compounds that support acetylcholine,
The learning molecule.
the neurotransmitter for signal speed. So, if pyroxanthine wakes up the brain, acetylcholine makes sure the data transfer is running at top speed. It's about clarity, not just being amped up.
Okay, so let me see if I have this right. Neurogevity is the renovation crew, slowly fixing the house for the long term.
That's a perfect distinction.
And Brain Boost Plus is the high-speed internet you install so you can actually get work done today.
One is structural and chronic, the other is functional and acute. Exactly.
Now, I have to play the skeptic one more time.
Right.
Because I can walk into any gas station and buy a brain pill that promises the world. The supplement industry is the Wild West.
It is. The barrier to entry is frighteningly low. You can put almost anything in a capsule.
Sawdust and wishful thinking.
Or worse, heavy metals, contaminants. This is where the clinician-led part is a safety feature, not just branding. The Morrell Institute calls this a medical product.
What does that actually mean, though?
It means every batch is tested. They use a certificate of analysis, a COA.
Okay, and what does that verify?
3 things. Identity, Is it what they say it is?
Yeah.
Potency. Is it strong enough to work? And purity. Is it free of things like mold, lead, mercury, and bacteria?
And because it's coming from a clinician, there's a real chain of command, a level of oversight.
There is. It's a patient-provider relationship. This isn't just an anonymous online store. You're getting a protocol, not just a product.
That actually makes me feel a lot better, because when you're talking about substances designed to cross the blood-brain barrier, you don't want any surprises.
Absolutely not. The brain is incredibly sensitive. Precision is key.
So to wrap this all up, we have this two-pronged approach. We've got the long game structural repair for synapses and mitochondria,
Okay.
and then the short game, non-jittery fuel for immediate focus.
It's a very comprehensive system. It really does tackle the problem from both ends, the root cause and the daily symptom.
I think what really stuck with me from this whole deep dive is the shift in mindset. We just accept that brain fog is the price of admission for being over 35.
We normalize it. We joke about having senior moments when we're in our 40s.
Right, but if your knee started hurting, you wouldn't just say, oh, well, guess I'll crawl now. You do physical therapy. You try to fix it.
Precisely. And the perspective here is that the brain is biological tissue. It responds to inputs. If you change the inputs, give it the right signals, the right fuel, the right building blocks, the output changes. We don't have to be passive observers of our own cognitive decline.
It's an engineering challenge, not a curse. We have agency here.
And honestly, with the demands of modern life, maintaining your cognitive endurance isn't a luxury anymore. It feels like a necessity.
So here's a final thought for you to chew on today. We count our steps, we track our sleep, we measure our macros, we treat our bodies like these high-performance machines that need constant tuning. But are you treating your brain like a machine, or are you treating it like some mystery box that you just hope keeps working? Maybe it's time to look under the hood.
I think that is a perfect place to leave it.
Thanks for listening to this deep dive. Go give your mitochondria a high five. We'll see you on the next one.